Hello, I am back again, and it's funny. I was sitting in my car and wasn't thinking about anything in particular, I don't think, and all of a sudden I just kind of got a flash of information that I kind of wanted to share. And it revolves around, I guess, the last video I made about being more comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, if you were to relate that to um, people pleasing tendencies, it kind of helps you to understand why you do it. Like why, if you are a people pleaser or you have been for some time, it kind of makes sense, if you think about it. So, I'm assuming that highly sensitive people or people who are hyper aware, um, we pick up on the tone of the space that we're in. We pick up on vibrations and energy and pitches and tones and feelings that are being emanated off of a person and also a place that we're in, right? And a lot of the times, I feel like they're uncomfortable. Um, so, what we do is we take on the role of a caretaker or a people pleaser in order to make the people, I'm just going to concentrate on people in general, in order to make the people around us feel comfortable so they don't emit uncomfortable feelings that we have to process. Does that make sense? That's why we have adopted people pleasing tendencies. It's not necessarily for the other person more so than it is for us. If you really, really, really think about it, yeah, okay. Like for most of my life, I was a people pleaser, and I don't know. I guess I had created an identity around that, and also, if I really think about it, like my ego was being exalted because it felt needed, it felt wanted, it felt like I was a caring person, or it seemed like I was, a generous person, kind person. I'm not saying I am not those things, but when I look back at my life and I realize like the dysfunctional patterns and behaviors that I was participating in and the identity I had adopted in order to make myself feel comfortable, it's not as noble as it seems when you really see what's happening and the real reason why we're doing it. So a lot of times the people pleasing tendencies come from, I'm assuming it's a self-soothing coping mechanism, and it probably started from when we were children, and we probably grew up in hostile environments or environments where we didn't have the emotional or maybe even physical um, needs met, you know? So from childhood, like all of these traumatic events happen. We're not getting the proper emotional or physical or maybe even mental support from our caretakers or the environment that we're in. So as we get older, to soothe ourselves, whenever we encounter people who um, display or emit feelings that um, things that activate feelings within us that remind us of the trauma, we try to become caretakers and people pleasers so that we are not reminded of the discomfort that we felt when we were children. But that's the thing, like, if you don't recognize and realize the motives behind your behavior, like, and really take a look at it, you'll never be able to, you know, have breakthroughs. So, yeah, like just recognizing that pattern or that behavior um, makes me realize that, hey, I don't need to take on the role of a caretaker or a people pleaser. I just need to face a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved trauma that feels very uncomfortable within myself, you know? And once I, accept these things and do the work to sit with them and feel them and let them pass, then I won't be triggered anymore. You get what I'm saying? And other people's discomfort isn't going to rattle my nervous system nearly as bad as it did in the past. Um, yeah, just got that download and I wanted to share it with you. If you are a people pleaser and if you're at that point where you're exhausted, a lot of times, well, I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me personally, like, I was a caretaker. It got to a point where I was exhausted. I couldn't do it anymore. And also, what made it exhausting was I was investing a lot of my time taking care of people who, I want to say, didn't reciprocate. So if you're constantly outputting your energy, but it's not being reciprocated back, that's an energy drain. You're draining yourself of vital energy, vital life force. You're investing it in people who most of the time there's several people that you could be investing your time in when you're a people pleaser. There's narcissists or yeah, people who know that you have a particular I can't talk right. A particular operating program, and they take full advantage of it. So, they just kind of drain you. But then the thing is, you're allowing that to happen too, yeah? So you can't really get mad at the narcissist because you're basically giving them permission to take whatever they want from you without giving anything back. Um, there's people that don't even want our help, that we're, you know, trying to help, and it's actually detrimental because you're interfering with their life process. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's more. But you know what? Let's just wrap it up with the two. So when you're a people pleaser, that's why you attract narcissists, and that's why you attract people who get hostile. You know, I mean, sometimes I would also attract very nice people and people who reciprocated, but it was rare. It was not a common thing. It was mostly angry people or people who were manipulative and narcissistic, I feel. But that's the thing. If you look back, or if I look back on my life, it was a common theme. I would always attract a particular type of person or persons into my life. And because I wasn't aware of my sacrificial nature and the reason why I was doing it, I just kept recycling experiences because I wasn't getting or learning the lesson. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens. Like, if you notice a common theme recurring in your life, it's probably, I'm so sorry, probably because there is something energetically lodged in your system that is asking to be um, asking for your attention. You know, like, hey, I'm in here. I know you've been avoiding me. I know I don't feel comfortable, but I definitely want you to see me so that you can release me, you know? Anyways, I'm sorry if I didn't make sense, but I felt inclined to make this video anyway. All right, well, you have a great day, and blessings to one and all. Amen.